What's up? I'm back. I'm gonna talk about now. I don't know if you've seen the rest of my videos, but I was gonna stop, but I'm gonna go ahead and just keep going because even if nobody watches it, like I'm bored as shit, honestly. So right now, last night I kind of went on a random rant about black women, and that's a real touchy subject because a lot of black women feel like black men just complain, and we don't appreciate them, and the reason that we run off to other races because we can't handle them, and other races are so pushover, and it makes it easy on us. But it's like that's not that factual. I mean, yeah, you'll have that type of man who does want the easy way out and does want a chick to control, but it's like, honestly, you can control black girls too if you really wanted to. It's like there's always a percentage. Black women get manipulated just like other races. Like, we're not even just sitting there like, oh, we want like an easier deal. What the actual truth is, it's like a big major percentage of like black African American women, they have a slight edge on the attitude side, and it's understandable. Like, I understand where it comes from, I understand the root, but and all in all, it doesn't make it okay. I mean, you'll have women who they'll be like a bit more snappy, or they'll demand a little bit more from you than is reasonable, and then in return not really give the same effort, stuff like that. And like, yeah, of course all races have these tendencies, but I think African American women more overall kind of like do it the most just as a percentage, and it's because of where we come from. Because I had someone mention last night that I agreed with, is like it's pretty much leftover slave mentality, which is like kind of like black people as a whole race just like handicapping themselves, but just that like women just have the inconvenience of like kind of catching more of a brunt, because like men can like be less responsible, but it's like we still have the ability to kind of go outside our race, so it's like not as big as an issue. At least if we're talking about like interracial relationships. Like a man can go fuck an average Asian chick or average white chick or average Mexican whatever, and wife or have kids, and it's like not a fucking big deal. But like women, it's like I talk, and like I know a lot of them might deny it, but like keep it 100, like a lot of black women I know, to go outside your race is a sacrifice. Like, yeah, you talk about the cute white boys and the cute Mexicans and this and that, but it's like, honestly, when y'all really think about it, it's like there's things you're worried about, the families, y'all worried about niggas' dick being pink, y'all worried about the sexual attraction, you're worried about the way public will look at it. It's like men don't have all those requirements, or really like even worried about it like that. So it's like, I think just us as like downing black women as much, I think it kind of like gets raised more than it should be, because for the simple fact that like one side is willing to go outside the race than the other. That's point one. Point two, which I guess I'll defend more of the women's side, it's like, yeah, men are kind of slipping. Like, yeah, it's a higher percentage because we all come from broken homes. Not all of us, but like, a vast majority of like the blacks is in poverty, which is like where the major percentage of our race is at. So it's like, of course, these effects that are like left over from slavery is going to affect both sides. But I just think, all in all, it's like women, you guys have more control over the situation, because in case you haven't noticed, it's like men model their lives off of what they think will get bitches. If you haven't noticed that, it's like most men, men get nice cars, nice homes, they try and get money, they try and look nice to get clothes and, jewelry and stuff like that, and it's pretty much to up their total on women. And it's like, why else would men want to do all that superficial shit unless they thought that was what gets you? Because if women, as a whole, and even if you yourself, if you want to just put yourself in another category, like if you presented yourself and you made it seem like you were more interested in more like good, qualities of men, and then force that upon them and make them pretty much be like, okay, this is what you need to do to be with me, like let all that super materialistic shit go, and then maybe men will probably focus more on acting right, because all in all, it's like when men want to get your draws, but right now And it's not just like media influence, but like really like what's real in the streets. Like if you want a chick to get the draws, like 6, 7, 8, 9 times out of 10, it's all that expensive shit. It's all that like swag. It's the tongue you talking, like the sex game. It's like that's the type of shit that kind of like ups pussy amount. And like I'm gonna be real with you. It's like it kind of sounds like men is like dumb, but it's like I won't say it's like we're dumb. It's just that like that's really like how it was meant to be. Like women, I feel like set the standard, and it's your job to kind of like make men. You're supposed to choose, and like if you set out what you want as far as like a mate, or like what you want to be with, it's like, and you don't settle for anything less, then men will do it, because what else we gonna do? We're not gonna fuck ourselves. Like no homo, like no Frank Ocean, like we're not about to do that. Some niggas will, like the download ones, but I mean I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the majority of niggas, like what we pretty much live for is pretty much to get y'all. And right now it's like the game is all fucked up, because somewhere down the line it was like women stopped pretty much giving themselves like 100% on their self-respect, and that just trickles down to generations. It's like women's moms didn't have relationships that worked out, and aunties, cousins, whatever. It's like you come from like a fucked up family. It's like your ideals is gonna like kind of match it. So it's like but it's like all that stuff is like, in my eyes, I think it's like an excuse. Because no matter what, it's like when it comes down to it, it's like everybody has their own individual life. We're all adults, so it's like you can't really sit there and be like, I'm like this because of like what I've been through, or this is what women have gone through. It's like your life is your own destiny. It's your own control at the end. Like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it may take therapy. It may take support. I'm not, knocking any of that, but it's like, seriously, if you want your own life to go the way you want it to go, and you want to take responsibility for your success in relationships, or, financial, like whatever, it's like, you can't, just say I'm the reason I am because these men ain't acting right, or I'm the reason I am because the way I was brought up, maybe this, or I'm the reason I am because black people for the last 400 years been, demeaning of their own selves. It's like, all this shit's an excuse, because if I'm able to open my eyes and have like a conscious of like what's going on around me and be able to mold myself around it, there's really no excuse why everybody else can't do that. It doesn't matter if like you had the worst life ever and you been through the most. It's like if you bring it to yourself to like want to achieve better, and you end up making it, it's like you'll make your success that much better. Like if anybody who's seen the last Batman movie, it was like pretty much like the dude, the villain was trying to say like there's no such thing as real hope without despair. So life is supposed to be hard, because if it isn't, you're not gonna be able to enjoy real success, because you ain't never been through shit. But if you still worrying about your past and the shit that goes on around you to depict like your own future and your own surroundings, it's like you're not really gonna achieve shit. And it's like the longer and longer you guys keep like fighting this and arguing, and it's like all in all, it's like the numbers don't lie. Marriage rates is shit. And these men out here that we acting crazier and crazier. I know, but you gotta realize, you're not gonna work harder for something you can get for cheap. So it's like, real shit is like, you guys hold the most valuable asset there is on earth, but continue to give it away for like next to nothing, and you can't really like, blame us for that. I mean, you could, but it's like, what's that gonna get you? So, it's like women, I'm just like putting the bar on y'all, because it's just like you really have the control of your own destiny. That's all I'm pretty much saying, because we can sit in here all day and be like, oh, well, men need to get this shit together. But it's like, what if they don't? You gonna let that affect your life? Or will you look beyond that and go to the source and like mold yourself? Because there's women out there who do that. It may not be the majority, but is women out there who, hold their shit down, and they like actually respect themselves at all times, and they hold their standards high for more reasons than materialistic, and they make men satisfy them in the ways that they feel is necessary for them to get what they want, which is a, legit family, and they get it. It may be hard. They may have to withhold sex, or they'll have dry box, and, cry about that from time to time, but it's like the end result is worth it. It's like nothing that's really worth anything, will come without sacrifice. So that's pretty much like what I'm saying. And as far as like black women and black men, it's like, the attitudes and all that. It's like, I think most of that just comes from like years of, repressed, memories, or whatever you've been through that just makes you have this constant defensive wall, and you can't really express yourself without like letting go of frustration in certain situations, and it's just not necessary. And the longer you just want to keep denying it, it's like, like I said, these numbers aren't lying, and it's not just black men say it. Like, if you ask other races, like a lot of other races are scared to approach you guys also, because a lot of white men, Mexican men, feel like they don't want to approach you because they don't want to be embarrassed, or they don't want to feel out of place, or they feel like they have to come at you like absolutely perfect, or else they're wasting their time. And then on top of that, like, honestly, a lot of other races, like, as the higher percentage aren't even interested in black women. They say, don't let movies and TV shows and shit fool you. Like, everybody wants black women, because of their ass and all that shit. It's like, yeah, but it's more sexual than anything, because that's just being real. That's another conversation. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, I believe in black relationships. I think it can work. It's just, shit needs to change, and of course men need to change, but I think a more accurate would be like the women, because the women are the source. It's like, we do what women want, we follow, but you guys have to lead by example, not just talk shit on Twitter and Facebook. That's not going to get it, because the same chicks who run their mouth and say a bunch of bullshit on Facebook and Twitter, you meet up with them in real life, and it's the complete opposite. They giving up the draws for gas money, or for nice clothes, or big Vicks. It's like, that's just being 100. So if you really want to be happy and you want to achieve what it takes, you need to do what it takes, and that goes for anything. But I think this video is running pretty long, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace out.